Hey Aries, I just pulled cards for your financial energy, and honestly, what came through was so much more intense than I expected. I want to share this reading with you because the universe is showing me some really specific things about when your financial luck is finally going to turn around. And I think you need to hear this right now. So I shuffled my deck with your energy in mind, asking specifically about when your financial situation is going to shift. And the cards that came out were so telling. Like, the universe is literally showing me the exact pathway that's opening up for you. And I have to say, some of what I'm seeing here is going to surprise you. Let me just get right into it, because there's a lot to unpack here. The first card that came out was the Five of Cups, and when I saw this, I actually paused for a moment, because this card is all about disappointment and loss, right? But here's the thing about the Five of Cups in the context of financial timing. This card is showing me that you've been dwelling on past financial mistakes or missed opportunities. Maybe you invested in something that didn't pan out, or you feel like you should be further ahead than you are right now. The figure in this card is literally standing there looking at 3 spilled cups while 2 full cups stand behind them. And that's exactly what's happening with your energy right now. You're so focused on what didn't work out that you're missing the resources and opportunities that are actually still available to you. And this is important because the universe is telling me that this mindset is actually what's been blocking your financial breakthrough. It's like you're standing at the edge of something really good, but you keep looking backward instead of forward. The energy here is showing me that you've been carrying around this weight of financial regret, and it's been creating a kind of static in your manifestation field. But here's what's interesting about this card appearing first. It's not here to tell you that more disappointment is coming. It's here to show you what needs to be released before your financial luck can turn around. The universe is basically saying that the moment you stop replaying those past financial failures in your mind, the moment you stop beating yourself up about what you should have done differently, that's when the energy shifts. And that shift is coming sooner than you think. But it requires you to make peace with what's already happened. I'm seeing that for a lot of Aries reading this, there's been a specific financial setback within the past year or so that you just haven't fully processed yet. Maybe you lost money, maybe a job opportunity fell through, maybe someone owed you money and never paid you back. Whatever it was, it left a mark, and you've been operating from that wounded place ever since. The Five of Cups is asking you to acknowledge those 2 cups that are still standing, to recognize that you still have resources, you still have capability, you still have value to offer the world. Now the Six of Cups came out next. And this is where things get really interesting because this card is all about the past, but in a completely different way than the Five of Cups. The Six of Cups is showing me that there's something from your past that's actually going to play a role in your financial turnaround. This could be an old skill you used to have that you've kind of forgotten about. Or maybe it's reconnecting with someone from your past who's going to open a door for you. I'm getting this really strong sense that there's a talent or ability that you had when you were younger, something that came naturally to you that's actually going to become a source of income or opportunity. The Six of Cups has this energy of innocence and simplicity, and I think what the universe is trying to tell you is that you've been overcomplicating your financial strategy. You've been looking for these big, complex solutions when actually, the answer is something much simpler. Something that's rooted in who you authentically are. For some of you, this might literally mean going back to something you used to do. Maybe you had a hobby or a side project that you gave up because you didn't think it was practical or profitable, but the universe is showing me that revisiting that could actually be the key. There's this energy of nostalgia around this card. Like the universe is reminding you of a time when you had more faith in yourself, when you weren't so worried about making the right financial decision. And here's what's really beautiful about the Six of Cups in this position. It's telling me that your financial breakthrough isn't going to come from becoming someone you're not. It's going to come from returning to who you really are, from tapping back into that authentic version of yourself that existed before you got all stressed and anxious about money. The child in the Six of Cups represents that pure, uncomplicated part of you that knew what you loved and just went for it without overthinking. I'm also seeing that for some of you, there might be a literal person from your past who reaches out or comes back into your life, and this person is going to be connected to a financial opportunity. This could be an old colleague, a former classmate, someone you used to work with. The timing on this feels like it could happen within the next few months, and when it does, don't dismiss it as just a random coincidence. Pay attention to these connections from your past because they're carrying potential. The Hanged Man showed up third. And okay, this is where I need you to really hear me because this card is explaining why the timing hasn't been right until now. The Hanged Man is all about suspension, about being in a state of waiting where you can't force anything to happen. And I know that's probably frustrating to hear when you're asking about when your financial luck is going to turn around, but this card is actually giving you really important information. What the Hanged Man is showing me is that you've been in a necessary period of pause. This hasn't been a punishment or bad luck. This has been a time where the universe needed you to shift your perspective about money, about work, about what success actually means to you. The figure in this card is hanging upside down, seeing the world from a completely different angle. And that's exactly what's been happening with you on an energetic level. You've been going through this internal transformation where your entire relationship with money and abundance has been changing, and this couldn't have happened if everything had been moving quickly and smoothly. Sometimes the universe puts us in these suspended states because we need to develop a new way of thinking before we're ready for the next level. And the Hanged Man is telling me that you're almost at the end of this suspended period. I'm seeing that your financial breakthrough is going to come when you finally release the need to control exactly how it happens. The Hanged Man is all about surrender, about trusting that the universe has a plan, even when you can't see it yet. And I know that's hard for Aries energy because you're naturally someone who wants to take action, who wants to make things happen through sheer force of will. But what this card is saying is that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stop pushing and start allowing. The timing on this feels like there's a very specific moment coming where something is going to click, for you mentally or emotionally, and that's when things are going to start moving again. It's like you've been trying to open a door by pushing on it when actually it opens by pulling. And once you figure out that shift in approach, everything is going to start flowing much more easily. The Six of Swords came through next. And honestly, when I saw this card, I felt this wave of relief because this is the card of transition and moving forward. After the suspended energy of the Hanged Man, the Six of Swords is showing me that you're about to enter a period of actual movement and progress. This card has this beautiful energy of leaving behind troubled waters and heading toward calmer shores. What I'm seeing with this card is that your financial situation is going to start improving through a process of transition. This might mean you're literally moving to a new location that opens up better opportunities. Or it could be more metaphorical, like you're transitioning from one type of work to another, or from one financial mindset to another. The Six of Swords shows a boat carrying passengers across water, and there's this sense of being guided, of having help during this transition. I'm getting that you're not going to have to figure this out completely on your own. There's going to be support, whether that comes in the form of a person who guides you, or just a sense that the universe is really backing you up during this transition period. The timing on this feels like it's going to be a gradual improvement rather than a sudden windfall. It's like you're going to start noticing that things are getting a little bit easier. Opportunities are starting to appear more frequently. The financial stress is starting to lift bit by bit. And I think that's actually better than a sudden change because it's more sustainable. The Six of Swords is showing me that you're building towards something solid and lasting, not just a temporary fix. The journey across the water represents this period where you're leaving behind old patterns and old struggles and moving toward a completely new financial reality. And the beautiful thing is that once you reach that other shore, you're not going to be the same person you were when you started. You're going to have more wisdom, more clarity, more confidence in your ability to create financial stability. For some of you, this transition might involve learning new skills or getting some kind of training or education that opens doors. The Six of Swords has this energy of mental clarity and strategic thinking, so I'm seeing that part of your financial turnaround is going to come from thinking more clearly about your goals and the steps you need to take to reach them. Now, the Ace of Cups appeared, and when I tell you this card made me emotional, I mean it. The Ace of Cups is all about new emotional beginnings, about your cup being filled again after it's been empty. In the context of your financial question, this card is showing me that your financial breakthrough is deeply connected to doing something that fulfills you emotionally and spiritually. This isn't just about making money. This is about finding work or creating income streams that actually make your heart happy, that align with your values and your passion. The Ace of Cups is the universe's way of saying that abundance flows most easily when you're in alignment with your joy. And I think what's been happening is that you've been so focused on just surviving financially that you've disconnected from what actually brings you joy. The Ace of Cups is this beautiful offer from the universe, this overflowing cup of emotional and spiritual abundance that's being extended to you. And the timing here feels really significant because this card is showing me that within the next several months, you're going to have an opportunity to pursue something that genuinely excites you, something that makes you feel alive and engaged. And that thing, whatever it is going to be the doorway to your financial turnaround. I'm seeing that for a lot of you, this might involve some kind of creative work or work that involves helping people or connecting with others in a meaningful way. The Ace of Cups has this energy of love and compassion and emotional intelligence, so your financial breakthrough might come through doing something that uses those qualities. Maybe you're going to start a business that's based on something you're passionate about, or maybe you're going to find a job where you actually feel valued and appreciated. What's really important about this card is that it's telling you not to settle for work that drains you just because it pays the bills. The universe is showing me that there's a way for you to be financially successful and emotionally fulfilled, and that's what's coming for you. The Ace of Cups represents new beginnings in love and emotion. So this is like falling in love with your work or your creative projects in a way that you haven't experienced before. The Ten of Wands came out, and I have to be honest, when this card appeared, I felt the weight of it. The Ten of Wands is showing me that you've been carrying so much responsibility, so much pressure, so many obligations. The figure in this card is literally bent over under the weight of 10 wands they're trying to carry. And that's exactly how your financial stress has been feeling lately. You've been working so hard, putting in so much effort, and maybe it feels like you're not seeing the results you deserve. The Ten of Wands represents that moment right before a breakthrough when everything feels the heaviest, when you're questioning whether you can keep going. But here's what's important about this card in your reading. It's showing up to tell you that you're almost at the finish line. That burden you've been carrying, you're about to be able to set it down. I'm seeing that part of what's been blocking your financial breakthrough is that you've been trying to do everything yourself. You've been afraid to ask for help, afraid to delegate, afraid to admit that you can't handle it all alone. And the Ten of Wands is showing me that your situation is going to improve dramatically when you start releasing some of that burden, when you start accepting help, when you start being more selective about what you take on. The timing here feels like there's a specific moment coming where you're going to realize that you don't have to work this hard to be successful. You're going to have this realization that there's a smarter way, a more efficient way, a way that doesn't require you to sacrifice your health and your peace of mind. And when that realization hits, that's when things are going to shift. For some of you, this might mean leaving a job or a situation that's been burning you out. For others, it might mean finally hiring help or bringing in a partner or collaborator who can share the load. The Ten of Wands is showing me that your financial luck turns around when you stop trying to prove something through how hard you work, and you start valuing your own well-being and energy. The Five of Wands showed up next, and this card is all about competition and conflict and struggle. In the context of your financial timing, this card is showing me that there's been a lot of external chaos and competition that's been making it harder for you to succeed. Maybe you're in a field where there's a lot of competition, or maybe you've been dealing with conflicts at work. Or maybe you've just been feeling like you're constantly fighting to get ahead. But here's what's interesting about the Five of Wands in this position. It's not here to tell you that the struggle is going to continue. It's here to show you what you're moving through and past. The chaos represented by this card is actually clearing out. And you're about to enter a period where things are much less contentious, where you don't have to fight so hard for every little bit of progress. I'm seeing that part of your financial breakthrough is going to come from removing yourself from situations where there's too much drama or conflict. The Five of Wands can represent environments where everyone is fighting for the same resources, where it's very competitive and cutthroat. And the universe is showing me that your path forward involves finding or creating a situation where you're not constantly battling others, where you can focus your energy on building rather than defending. The timing on this feels like the competitive energy is going to start dying down within the next couple of months. You might notice that certain people who have been causing problems or creating obstacles are going to move out of your sphere, or situations that have been contentious are going to resolve themselves. And as that happens, you're going to find that you have so much more energy and focus to direct toward your actual goals. For some of you, this card might be showing that you need to stop comparing yourself to others. Stop measuring your success against what other people are doing. The Five of Wands can represent internal conflict too, where you're constantly fighting with yourself about whether you're good enough or doing enough. And when you release that internal struggle, when you stop competing with everyone including yourself, that's when your natural abilities are going to shine through. The Knight of Swords came through, and this card has such intense, fast-moving energy. The Knight of Swords is showing me that when your financial breakthrough actually comes, it's going to happen quickly. This isn't going to be a slow, gradual change. This is going to be sudden, decisive action that changes everything almost overnight. I'm seeing that there's a specific opportunity or idea that's going to come to you with a lot of clarity and force, and you're going to need to act on it quickly. The Knight of Swords represents intellectual breakthroughs, sudden insights, moments where everything becomes crystal clear and you know exactly what you need to do. And when that moment comes for you, you're going to feel this rush of certainty and conviction that you haven't felt in a long time. The timing on this feels like it could happen within the next 3 to 6 months. This sudden moment of clarity where you see your path forward and you're able to take action immediately. The Knight of Swords doesn't hesitate, doesn't second guess, just moves forward with confidence and speed. And that's the energy that's coming for you. What's interesting about this card is that it's showing me your financial breakthrough might come through communication or intellectual work in some way. Maybe you're going to have a conversation that leads to an opportunity. Or maybe you're going to write something or create content that gets noticed. Or maybe you're going to come up with an idea that you can turn into income. The Knight of Swords is all about the power of the mind, about using your intelligence and your ability to communicate as tools for success. I'm also seeing that this card represents a time when you're going to need to trust your instincts and act quickly without overthinking. The Knight of Swords can be impulsive in a good way, where you're moving so fast that you don't have time to talk yourself out of taking a risk. And I think that's going to be important for you because you've been stuck in analysis paralysis for a while now, overthinking every decision, afraid to make a wrong move. But when the Knight of Swords energy comes through, you're going to feel this undeniable pull to just go for it. The Page of Swords appeared next, and this is such an interesting card to have right after the Knight of Swords. The Page of Swords represents curiosity, learning, gathering information. This card is showing me that part of your financial turnaround is going to involve educating yourself, staying curious, being willing to learn new things. I'm seeing that you might be at the beginning of a learning curve right now, where you're figuring out something new, whether that's a new skill, a new industry, a new way of doing business. And the Page of Swords is telling you that this learning phase is actually really important. Don't rush it. Don't try to skip ahead to the part where you're already an expert. The foundation you're building right now through learning and experimentation is going to serve you really well. The timing here feels like this is a current energy, like you're in this page phase right now, gathering information and developing skills. And the transition from the page to the knight is going to happen over the next several months. You're going to go from being the student to being the one who takes action and makes things happen. But the page phase is necessary because it's giving you the tools and the knowledge you're going to need to make that Knight of Swords leap. I'm also seeing with the Page of Swords that you need to stay alert and aware of what's happening around you. This card represents mental agility, being quick to notice opportunities, staying informed about what's going on in your field or industry. Your financial breakthrough might come from noticing something that other people miss, from being perceptive and sharp enough to see an opportunity before it becomes obvious to everyone else. The Page of Swords also has this quality of honest communication, of speaking your truth even when it's uncomfortable. I'm seeing that part of your path forward involves being more direct and honest about what you want and what you need. Maybe you need to have a conversation about money that you've been avoiding, or maybe you need to advocate for yourself more strongly at work, or maybe you need to be more upfront with clients or customers about your value and your rates. Finally, the last card that came out was the Knight of Swords again. Wait, actually I need to check my deck because I already mentioned that card. Let me look at what actually came out. The final card was the Ace of Wands, and honestly, this is such a powerful card to end on because the Ace of Wands represents pure creative potential, new beginnings, inspiration, and passion. This card is showing me that your financial breakthrough is ultimately going to come through doing something creative, something that lights you up, something that channels your passion and your energy in a really direct way. The Ace of Wands is that spark of inspiration, that moment when you get an idea that just feels right, that makes you excited to wake up in the morning and work on it. I'm seeing that this creative opportunity is coming soon, and when it arrives, you're going to recognize it immediately because it's going to feel different from everything else you've tried. It's going to feel aligned, it's going to feel like, yes, this is it. The Ace of Wands has this quality of absolute certainty. Like when you're holding this card, you just know in your bones that this is your path forward. The timing on this feels really imminent. Like within the next few months, you're going to have this creative breakthrough or this inspired idea that becomes the foundation for your financial turnaround. And what's beautiful about the Ace of Wands is that it's not just about making money. It's about expressing who you are, using your unique gifts and talents, creating something that didn't exist before. For some of you, this might literally be a creative business or project. For others, it might be more about bringing creativity and passion into whatever work you do. The Ace of Wands is telling you that your financial abundance is directly connected to how fully you're expressing your authentic self and your creative vision. So when we look at all of these cards together, here's what I'm seeing about when your financial luck is going to turn around. You're currently in this transitional phase where you're releasing old disappointments and old patterns, where you're learning new skills and gathering information, where you're shifting your entire perspective about what's possible for you. The actual breakthrough is going to come through a combination of reconnecting with your authentic self and your natural talents, having a sudden moment of clarity that propels you into action, and following through on a creative inspiration that aligns with your passion. The timing feels like things are going to start shifting within the next 3 to 6 months, with the most significant changes happening when you take that Knight of Swords leap of faith and when you fully commit to the Ace of Wands creative opportunity. But the groundwork is happening right now, in this present moment, as you're releasing what doesn't serve you and opening yourself up to new possibilities. What's really important for you to understand is that your financial breakthrough isn't just about the money itself. It's about you stepping into a version of yourself that's more aligned, more authentic, more confident. The universe is preparing you for a level of success that requires you to have done this inner work first. And everything you've been going through, all the struggles and the waiting and the disappointment, it's all been preparing you for this next chapter. I really hope this reading resonated with you and gave you some clarity about what's coming. Trust the process, trust the timing, and most importantly, trust yourself.